I mean, I think the simplest thing is that after everyone speaks, we say, "We're here for you."
And at first I was like, I don't know what that even is. And I came, and it's such an important part of my day now.
I never really tried the Frenchwood soup before Soup Troupe. It really opened my eyes to a whole new part of the Frenchwood's dining hall.
Soup Troupe is really inclusive, and Soup Troupe is a place where everybody can just come and talk about soup when it's good, and also complain about soup when it's bad, because we all deserve a good bowl of soup in our lives.
Well, I never thought that I could ever meet a group of people so welcoming and kind and loving.
I never have soup other than Frenchwoods.
We know the kitchen staff just works so hard making these delicious soups for us every day. And just Soup Troupe is just the way we want to thank them and show that they're truly appreciated.
Being able to talk amongst my peers here at Frenchwoods about the daily soups has really enhanced my daily life.
Soup Troupe has really brought me and Ray close together. Yes. I don't think we would have been this close if it hadn't been for the soup that we get every day.
It's really helpful.
We're here for you.
I felt like I was the only one who could express my love for soup in such a dynamic way.
Thank you, Soup Troupe.
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 Thank you, Soup Troupe. Thank you, Frenchwoods.
Hey Soup Troupe, it's Cole. One of your founders, I wanted to thank Soup Troupe for being such an inclusive space. I love you all. Keep enjoying soup and send me a mushroom and brie.
Hi everyone, my name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to Soup Troupe Online.
We are so excited for this episode, you guys, today. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is Soup Troupe Online. We started at Frenchwoods Festival for the Performing Arts in upstate New York. There was a soup every day at lunch, and nobody was talking about that. And Danny and I, along with my work husband, co-write Shaner, decided that that was kind of upsetting. And so we talked about soup after lunch every day. We had over 200 members, a talking bowl. It was insanity. And we are so excited to bring this to you guys across the country with Soup Troupe Online in our 19th episode.
We are so excited today. We have such a lovely episode planned for today. But first, I would like to talk about something very exciting for Soup Troupe Online. Thank you to all of our wonderful fans who have commented on our Brodo Broth sponsorship video. They commented on our post, and things are in the works now. So thank you guys for all of that support and help that you gave us. That was absolutely amazing, and we can't thank you guys enough for that.
And if we're counting here at Soup Troupe, we started with a live stream, and now we have a potential sponsorship, a 54 Below show, and a Netflix original soup consultant gig. So that is all. Anyway, we are so very excited to welcome this special guest to our show. Her name is, of course, Ali Ewoldt. She was on Broadway in Phantom of the Opera as Christine. She was Cosette in Les Mis on Broadway and around the country. She was in The King and I. She was in the Maria in the West Side Story national tour. She was in The Fantastics and so much more. We are so honored and excited to be talking to Miss Ali Ewoldt today, and here she is.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so excited to have you here on Soup Troupe.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So our first question that we like to ask all of our guests is, what is your favorite soup memory?
Goodness. I thought I had a feeling that this might come up as as a question, as a topic. I think the favorite soup memories are when I was a kid and I wasn't feeling well, and my mom would make matzo ball soup
We are not Jewish. However, we had these amazing next door neighbors who had this incredible matzo ball soup recipe that they were kind enough to share with us. And I feel like that was, the ultimate in comfort food coming from my mother with this like great family recipe too.
Oh yeah. There's nothing better than a nice bowl of matzo ball soup.
So true.
So being such a treasured soprano on Broadway, 8 shows a week, we need to know, are there any secrets that help you keep your voice in tip-top shape to do all of that? And are there any soups in particular that keep your voice nice and healthy for the long week ahead?
Yes. Well, I mean, I think, all of the boring things are sort of the tips to stay in shape for doing a show, 8 times a week or 6 times a week for Christine, which was an amazing gift. Thank you, Sarah Bettman. Water, sleep, not screaming in loud places, warming up vocally, steamy showers, all of that fun stuff. But I was thinking about this, and so I'm half Filipino, and we have this soup called Sinigang. I don't know if you guys have heard of this before. It's delicious. It's like a tamarind broth-based soup. So it's a little sour, and it can have some like delicious ginger in it and like some spice to it too. And then you can like throw in some like good green leafy vegetables and like maybe some fish action if you want, or some of that stuff. But it's a really good, like if you're feeling a little under the weather, like sweat it out, get all like the beautiful effects of ginger, working as like an anti-inflammatory and all of that like good spicy stuff. And so I think I would say either that or like a hot and sour soup. There's sort of a theme here. Hot and sour soup is always my like when I'm feeling icky go to, like just sweat out all the gross in a delicious way.
That soup sounds absolutely incredible. You have made me very hungry. I might have to indulge at some point soon. Having your degree in psychology from Yale, we have a psychological question for you. Does soup have any psychological effects on humans as we eat soup? Because for me, it makes me so happy and it warms your soul. So we want to know if there's any like effects on the brain that it has.
I was an undergraduate psych major, so I can't really say that I have any medical authority on anything. I don't know if you guys grew up with this, but I definitely grew up with those books, like the Chicken Soup for the Soul books that had all like beautiful stories. And I feel like just the very fact that those books existed using the metaphor of like some, like beautiful things being good for your soul in the way that soup is, I feel like it just has to. I think that anything, obviously anything that nourishes your body, helps your mind, helps your mood, particularly if it comes from somebody that you love or you put some love into it. I just think like logically, it must have a positive psychological effect, right? Sure.
Yeah. That's what we figured. We wanted to ask you in case like on the off chance you knew like some crazy soup fact. However, I agree with you. I think it does have some psychological effects, but I also am not a psych major and did not go to Yale, so I don't have that knowledge.
I can sort of interpolate. It's not really directly soup related, but one of my favorite stories or favorite sort of like remembrances of my classes at Yale was this study about sort of putting your body into certain positions and how that affects your brain, right? And it was about smiling. And they had 2 different groups, and they were both taking some test or doing a task. And one group had to hold a pencil in between their teeth so that they were sort of putting their mouth in like a smiling type position, and the other didn't. And then they measured their happiness afterwards. And the ones who were forced to just like make their face into a smile just by what was in their mouths, they were the happier ones, right? Like they were much happier. So I would think also like, just like the lovely act of like bringing a spoon to your mouth, that feels like it totally tracks.
I love that. I think I'm gonna use that in my daily conversation. But that's amazing. So, congrats on your run as Christine in Phantom of the Opera. That is amazing. You were phenomenal. I had the lovely chance to see you. So can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to play such an iconic role on Broadway? And if you had to be immersed in soup instead of smoke during the boat scene, which soup would that be and why?
that's a great question. So it was amazing. It was, it was a lifelong dream. It took me a long time. I've talked a lot about how it took me a solid 10 years of auditioning for Phantom to get to play Christine. I auditioned for the tour and the Vegas company and the Broadway cast. And then, years later, again, went in again and again and again. And so when they finally cast me, it was just such a wonderful, grateful moment that I really got to do this part that I absolutely had loved since I was a child, and to get to be on that stage and see the chandelier, and really like the boat scene is just as cool on stage as it is for the audience. It's amazing, like the way that, and what's really amazing about Phantom is because they haven't changed really anything about the show in over 30 years, is that the magic actually feels really preserved. You see these like one at a time candles coming up from the floor, and the candelabra slowly rising, and like the beautiful smoke rolling in, and you're on this boat that like sometimes doesn't go exactly where it's supposed to because it's not on track. So there's also that there's that excitement, anticipation of what's going to happen, and it just feels really exciting. And it's great because Christine's supposed to be sort of exciting and taking in all this magic. Okay, now this is the harder part of the question. If the fog were a stew, I feel like, this sort of is like the obvious answer, but a favorite of mine from childhood was French onion soup. And I think since we're in Paris, like there just has to be something a little, it's mostly savory, but like there's like a little bit of sweetness with the onions. Like I feel like it's an intriguing, delicious waft of fog.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. I was not expecting a French onion, but honestly, maybe the cheese layer could help keep the boat on track. You never know.
Ooh, that's true. You're right. Yes, there are many, or like the wax dripping down off the candles, if that were cheese.
It's cheese. That's my ideal candle. Not gonna lie. If I could have a cheese candle, I would be complete.
Right.
Hey, who was it that said on the top of a Christmas tree they would put?
That was Tyler Mount. Tyler Mount said that.
Said they would put they would freeze a soup and then put it on the top of their Christmas tree so that like throughout the day they would get like soup dripping. Tyler Mount.
That sounds like
Tyler. It's a little bit of a crazy concept, but I'm not opposed to it, honestly.
No, I think that worked. Anything like this, the idea of like a slow burn and then it like sort of becomes a fondue. Is it like, you can just kind of dip, like it's almost like a cheese fountain, but it's, it's a slower drip.
Ooh.
Oh my God. If in Phantom of the Opera, instead of candles, there was a cheese fondue, I think the ticket sales would go way, way up. Way up.
I think you've hit upon something. We're going to have to send in some comments. Let them know what to work on.
All right, so we know you frequently do work with the National Asian Artists Project, and we wanted to ask you if you could tell us a little bit more about that and your involvement. And we also wanted to ask if you could start a soup fundraiser, or as we like to call it, a soup raiser for the project. What would it entail, and what soups would be featured at that fundraiser?
Ooh, delightful. Okay, so NAP, the National Asian Artists Project, or because I'm Filipino, the way that Filipinos pronounce Tagalog, the national language, you pronounce every single letter, so like all the vowels. So we like to joke that, we Filipinos call it naa. You would say it in a Filipino accent. But it's this amazing organization that Bjork Lee founded. And the idea is just to advance Asian Americans in the arts, both with these amazing all Asian cast performances, stage readings. I just did Cinderella with them before the shutdown, with the amazing Josh Delacruz, who was the new star of Blue's Clues, playing the Prince, and Anne Harada, and all of these like legends. And Bjork, was the original Connie in a Chorus Line, has staged King and I's and chorus lines all over the country, all over the world. And I got to work with her on a mini King and I tour, and she's got the best stories, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful spirit. And also does all of this work in Chinatown with the kids down there with their public schools. And so we'll go and sing in the choir with them. They will be involved in all of the performances so that they get, hands-on experience working on stage with Broadway actors from an early age and get all this beautiful music instruction. And it's just like, it's just warm and delightful and all good stuff. So Byork's family member, owns a restaurant in Chinatown because she actually grew up in Chinatown herself. So I feel like the fundraiser would involve, this amazing restaurant, probably some like wonton soup, definitely hot and sour soup, some egg drop soup. I mean, I feel like, the Chinese soup canon is like really, really wonderful and delicious. But I would throw in, because it is a Pan-Asian thing, the sinigang that we talked about before, the Filipino soup. I love a tom yum soup, like a Thai soup that way. And I think that it's just, it's like a tour of the Asian soup lands, maybe some ramen, some miso soup. There's so many wonderful options, and you can sort of like taste them and, donate money to the cause and learn about like all of these different cultures and countries and get delicious soup. That works, right?
I love that.
That is perfect. I think we have to put
singing while this is happening. Maybe that's helpful. Maybe there's a singing while you taste all the soups or something like that too.
Amazing. I love that. So we also know that you performed as Jasmine in Aladdin at Disneyland. So can you tell us what was your favorite thing about performing at Disney, and have you ever tried any soups there? And if so, what was your favorite?
So it was amazing. It was my first major job out of college. I was originally cast as the Jasmine understudy / body double, which meant that that my first job, eventually I ended up playing the part on stage a lot, but was to fly on the magic carpet as Jasmine with an Aladdin behind me. And at the Hyperion Theater, where this was in Disney's California Adventure, we were probably like 3-4 stories up, had to get very heavily harnessed in. And then we're on this like beautiful, it was a magic carpet ride. It felt like a personal roller coaster in the best way. And as we would swoop around, we would get really close to all of the kids who were super excited and would reach out and like, Jasmine, Aladdin. And so you could just sort of like gently reach towards them and like see their face light up and that you made their entire life so far. And that was really fun, like really, really, really enjoyable and awesome. And I had just a great cast that I worked with. I happened to get to understudy. My first 2 Jasmines were women that I had grown up watching on television and who had inspired me to think that I could even be a performer. They were 2 amazing Filipino-American women, Didi Magno Hall, who was on the Mickey Mouse Club, and Jenny Kwan, who was on a show called California Dreams, which I'm sure neither of you have ever seen, but came on like after Saved by the Bell, if that gives it a little context.
Sure.
But the 2 of them were just and are the loveliest humans, and basically walked me through everything. They taught me how to pin curl my hair, and they prepped me for my put-in audition, and really just sort of taught me what it was to lead a show and to be a professional performer and to be a nice person. And so that was amazing. Funny enough, I do remember, because we were sort of allowed to, we were working in this show that was a union show. And so we weren't really part of all of the Disney rules that most cast members who work in the parks have to obey. And so we were allowed to kind of go out into the park and eat and ride on rides and whatever when we weren't actually at the theater. And I remember there was a really amazing sourdough bread company, and they would do like a clam chowder in a bread bowl. That was just all of the delightful things. That was like part of In California Adventure, just kind of wander over, and then you just get like, an amazing meal to prep you for the next 3 shows you were supposed to do that day.
Wow.
That is so sweet. Oh my goodness. I love that. Working at Disney seems like such a dream, honestly. It sounds lovely.
I loved it.
Bread bowls. That sounds awesome. All right, so now is the time where we are getting ready to play a game. So for this game, we will be playing Speed Round. So how this works is we are going to name off some of your credits of shows that you've been in. And your challenge is, as fast as you can, is to tell us what soup you think that show would be. Don't think too much. It's an easy game, speed round. It's super fun. So, are you ready to play speed round here on Soup Troop Online?
The show would be, or like the characters would be. The entire show is a soup. Just checking.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I'm really nervous right now, guys.
Don't be nervous. I promise. Soups don't bite.
Fair enough.
All right, Ali Ewoldt, we are playing speed round, and away we soup Phantom of the Opera.
Well, we already said French onion. I'm gonna go with that.
All right, next is Les Mis.
Oh God. I think that's like a beef stew.
Yeah.
Something a little hearty, something a little sad.
The King and I.
The King and I would be hot and sour soup.
Ooh.
Next is West Side Story.
West Side Story, I feel like would be like, oh gosh, I don't know. Some sort of like, this is totally culturally inaccurate, but like some sort of delicious like tortilla, like Mexican soup thing.
Yeah. The Fantastics.
The Fantastics would be, I'm gonna go with like carrot ginger. I feel like that would be fun.
Ooh. All right, last question on speed round is Cinderella.
Cinderella, I would say like a nice chicken noodle soup.
Congratulations. We don't crown winners, but that was the speediest speed round we've ever done.
Oh my goodness.
Usually, wow, yeah, you were quick. That was good.
I mean, they could have been bad answers, but at least I answered quickly.
Yeah, no, I think you won.
You really crushed it.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And you were so nervous, but you really did so well. Congratulations.
Thanks, friends. Thank you.
Absolutely. So now is our time of the episode where we have to introduce our Q&A. If you have a question for Ali Ewoldt, leave it in the comments below, and we will try to get to as many as we can. Let me look. We have some coming in. This first one comes from Eliana Groupman, who says, what soup would Christine have to prepare for performances?
Ooh, good question. I think Christine with something with ginger, either like a carrot ginger or like the sinigang that we mentioned, or something that has like a good anti-inflammatory property to it.
Yeah. Sam Vanna says, plot twist, when the chandelier crashes at the start of Phantom, you realize it was not a chandelier, but a giant bowl of soup. What soup do you think the Phantom would douse the cat?
It's the most amazing question. The Phantom would douse everybody. Oh gosh, with like something messy, like a. It feels wrong to say like a lentil soup, but like something that would get everywhere, or maybe with like some couscous in it, like something that would cause people to like trip and fall all over the stage and would stay there for like a really long time, like little small bits.
Yeah. This next one comes from Eliana Groupman. She says, you're trapped in the Phantom's lair, which is slowly filling with soup, as we know, French onion. How do you survive?
I mean, I think the correct answer is just eat as much of it as I can until I like float to the surface, probably. But you know, if not, then sort of climb up on like the cheesy candelabras and like try and, you know.
Maybe there's like some bread in there that you can.
Right. Yeah. Float like a little like bread raft.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like swoosh to safety.
Exactly.
This new production of Phantom sounds absolutely incredible. I think we really need to talk to some people to get it into action. It's been 30-something years. We can add some soup and cheese plot lines on the side.
I mean, also just like the fans and the fan art are so incredible that I can imagine somebody at home right now is creating a masterpiece of, you know, cheese candelabras and little like floaty bread savory wraps.
At home, if you are doing that, please send that to us at Soup Troop Official on Instagram. You can follow us. Please do it.
It's an assignment. Any artists out there, we're looking for a commission. We're gonna send a giant print to Ali's house of cheese candelabras. So we're really looking for artists to put that into reality for us.
I love it. I think it's great.
I think it's going to happen. This next question comes from Ellie Perlman, who says, you're reminiscing on the very best soup you have ever consumed, wishing it was somehow there. If you It took me too long to get that. If you could relive any experience, what would that be?
Oh gosh. It's just put so well. It's so great. I'm gonna have to say, so I was in Japan in January, but I've spent some time there. I worked for Disney in Japan, and then I did the West Side tour, and we happened to be in Japan. And I just, I love like a delicious ramen Japanese action thing, and it's also tied with the idea of getting to travel, which I miss doing so much right now. And so I would love to have the experience of getting to go back to Japan and eating some udon. Some udon would be really great right now. Something delicious and noodly.
Absolutely. This next one comes from C. Hargrove, who says, upon leaving her glass slipper on the stairs, at midnight it turns into a soup. What soup would perfectly fit Cinderella's
See, this is where I feel like I'm running out of like my arsenal of like off the top of my head soups. Can I phone a friend? Do you guys have any ideas?
It would have to be, I'm thinking it would have to be
soup.
A what?
A pumpkin soup?
Oh, yes. Oh, of course. That's so smart. Yes.
I totally interrupted you, Danny. What were you saying? I apologize.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like it's got to be at least a little creamy because, like, you don't want, like, a chicken broth that's just going to, like, it's not going to mold,
No, I think the pumpkin is spot on, or like butternut squashy, something like
Yeah.
in the form of that. I keep thinking bread bowl because that's where my head is now. So like maybe in a bread bowl, but then, nice and squishy and conforms.
Yeah.
Bread bowl juice? I think we can do it.
I think it works. The problem is they don't last very long because somebody's bound to nibble on your feet. But they're cute at the moment.
Mackenzie Germain says, Jasmine and Aladdin are flying on the magic carpet, but oh no, it's losing magic and the nearest sea is filled with soup. What soup do they fall in? Yes, I saw you in Fashion 3 years ago today.
Yay! Oh my gosh. Hi, Mackenzie. Gosh, I wish we were back at the Majestic. Wouldn't that be delightful? We fall into what kind of soup? Goodness gracious. See, I need help. What I don't know. What would Jasmine and Aladdin fall into? Something fluffy, something like kind and see now I'm stuck on butternut squash again. You know what would be lovely is like maybe some like brodo broth, perhaps. Like a delicious, like I particularly really enjoy their veggie version with like the seaweed and like all of that yummy goodness. So like something with some kelp and some like, yummy sea vegetables, perhaps from Brodo.
Absolutely. If you haven't been to Brodo Broth, it is on, as I've said on the show, on the upper. It is a great broth company in which you can get a broth in a coffee cup. Please go buy their broth. They're phenomenal.
So good.
We're currently doing this sponsorship for free because we're not sponsored yet by Brodo, but hopefully one day soon Soup Troupe will be in cahoots with Brodo Broth Company. That's the hopes.
Just continuing to throw that out there. But yeah, they're like right down the street from me and quite delicious. And I also am not being paid to say this. I genuinely believe it from my heart.
This next question comes from C. Hargrove, who says, what soups do you think would feud as much as the Jets and Sharks?
Ooh. Oh, that's a great question. Soups that would be at odds with each other. I mean, I feel like, again, it's something spicy. It's like a hot and sour, kind of going at it with an egg drop. Like I just sort of see like the Sharks as like the hot and sour and like the Jets with, sort of the more pale blander version. Kind of going at it that way. Not that one is better than the other, just saying.
So we are developing a soup cabaret, and I think we might just need to do a rumble with 2 different egg drops. I think that's beautiful.
That would be amazing.
I think there's something in that. We have time for one more question today, and this one is a simple, a question. It's from Andy J, who says, matzo ball soup, hot or not?
Hot.
Agreed.
Wait, I don't understand the question.
Neither did I.
Are there
maybe
hot sauce? Is that what that means? Or do we prefer it cold? I'm so confused.
I think it's a temperature question.
Oh. I think for me, all soups need to be hot, like really hot, like have to blow on them. I prefer my beverages that way too, like in a nice, like almost scalding your tongue sort of way, but that might just be a personal thing.
Do you have opinions on like cold soups, like a gazpacho situation?
I do enjoy a gazpacho on occasion. It's never going to be my go-to, but on like a really hot day, and especially when it's like a nice like grab and go scenario, like that is lovely. There also was, no, I guess this was hot. Now, I don't know, this is a complete tangent, but I'm remembering in Japan, because I'm stuck on Japan right now because I just really want to get back there. They have vending machines all over the place for all sorts of things, including they've got like a corn soup that you can buy in a vending machine in a can, which is great and warm. And then you could just like go around like drinking your like warm canned corn soup.
It's warm?
Because they had like warm cans. I don't know how they did this, but they had warm cans of like coffee or hot chocolate or tea or whatever, and like a little like portable can of soup. And you just like pop the top and drink it while you go. Really amazing things there.
I used to there were these soups that my parents would buy me for school. And they were, I think they're called Well Yes, and they were sipping soups, and you like pop in the microwave for 30 seconds, and then you can like kind of like go to just like sip a butternut squash in the middle of the day.
It's great. It's so nice to have the option of like, walking as you go. You get your like nutrients and all the good things. You don't have to like sit down, like you said, just like that lovely brodo, like in a portable mug situation.
Danny, you're so lucky. I got sandwiches. I never got a soup for lunch. Shout out to my mom though. The sandwiches were really good. So I'm not complaining on my quality of school lunches. I would just like to say that maybe I would have preferred a sipping soup.
Maybe, Danny, I'll send you some sipping soups.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, I see that there is a clarification for the matzo ball question. It's popular, right? Yes, I'm going to say yes.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes. Of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that is all the time we have today. I'm glad we ended off on the matzo ball question being a unanimous yes, of course. Sorry, Andy J. We all love matzo ball soup here at Soup Troop. But thank you so much, Ali, for coming on the show today. This has been a delight. You are so kind and wonderful, and thank you for answering all of our outlandish soup-based questions. So thank you for that. We really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. Thank you all for all of your questions. I really feel like, my brain is going in all sorts of fun directions now. The creativity that you ascribe to soup is really genuinely inspiring, and I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, everyone at home, please join us in giving Ali Ewoldt a 1, 2, 3. Where for
you.
Thank you.
Of course. We'll see you soon.
Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Danielle. That was Ali Ewoldt. You simply must follow her on Instagram and on everything at Ali Ewoldt. She's so wonderful, and we are so excited to see her on the stage again when we can do that safely. For now, this has been a lovely episode of Soup Troop Online. If you liked it, which I hope you did, you can follow us on Instagram at Soup Troop Official. You can like us on Facebook at Soup Troop Online, or you can like and subscribe to this video and channel down below.
If you would like to read more about Soup Troop Online, which we know you do, you can read more about us on BroadwayWorld.com, and the link is in the description below.
For now, this has been a great episode. My name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and this was Soup Troop Online. All right, everyone, join us in a 1, 2, 3. Have a super day.
We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first official day of the Soup Club.
So Soup Club is where we get the soup at lunch and we talk about it. My opinion was that I enjoyed the broth. It was too thin. I didn't get enough of it.
The spice is actually healthy because we're all sweet today. That's no more ginger. That's why.
I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. 3 spoons. I'm giving this a solid 3.75.
Soup Troop is really inclusive, and Soup Troop is a place where everybody can just come and talk about soup when it's good and also complain about soup when it's bad because we all deserve a good bowl of soup in our lives.
Danny and Soup Troop! I'm Danny.
And I'm Danny. 1, 2, 3.
We're here for you!
It's gonna be really hot.
Thank you, Soup Troop.
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 My name is Danny.
And I'm Danny, and welcome to Soup Troop Online.
Oh, hi there.
Oh, hi!
Hi.
What's up?
Hello.
Hi! Hi!
You guys, I'm so excited to be on Soup Troop.
Hello!
Hey!
Hey.
It's me!
Hi. Hey.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
It's me.
Hi, guys.
Happy Soup Year.